He needs money. He's hosting a rally to try to con people and try to fleece them out of every dollar that they have to fund his own legal fees. And by the way, he's doing it in the South Bronx, not to make a point, but because he's got court. And the man practically has the legal version of an ankle bracelet around him, and he can't leave the 5 boroughs because he always has to be in court. And so it is truly an embarrassment to him. And I am looking forward to the response of everyday Bronxites talking about how they feel about him coming to their backyard.
How do you think he'll be received?
I mean, I'm not going to be surprised if he's going to bus in a lot of his pals from Long Island and Jersey and wherever. I hope they pay a nice, hefty congestion tax. I hope that they contribute to the revenues of New York City and fund our public schools through their tourism to the Bronx.
Donald J. Trump is now president of the United States. President Obama.
The Trump rally in the Bronx obviously has AOC and other Democrats in a huge panic. I'm going to show you that piece again in a minute, but if you look closely, you can see she's really worried. She's quite anxious. AOC told about 10 lies in 30 seconds, and she had to close her eyes a couple times to find that next lie. She also said the quiet part out loud. She confirmed that the Dems are trying to keep Trump pinned down in New York and keep him off of the campaign trail. This entire lawfare BS was obviously a strategy to help Dementia Joe get elected, but they never imagined that Trump would turn this into his advantage. I'm sure slimy Judge Merchan will probably find some way to go ahead and convict Trump, but they could have never imagined that Trump would be able to start turning some heads up in the Northeast. So you may ask, hey Barry, how do you know that AOC is in a panic? And that's easy. You never discuss things in the media that don't concern you. And you certainly would have no reason to spew lie after lie. If it's of no consequence to you, if it's not a big issue, why raise it? And you certainly would have no reason whatsoever to spew such absurd lies. Her problem is that she thinks that the complicit media will protect her. She obviously doesn't care about people like me roasting her, even though more people will probably see this video than on some of the blogs of the people she was talking to. And I bet she didn't count on Fox News amplifying that lie fest that she just participated in.
I think that Joe Biden should go to Oklahoma and Nebraska and just try to make this one country for a change. Tell us your message.
At the very least, stop demonizing quote-unquote MAGA voters as if they're some foreign entity, enemy of the United States. He speaks about half this country as if they're our mortal enemy.
I know, it's a huge problem.
They're neighbors.
AOC was asked about the president's going to the Bronx, and this is which he surmised.
He needs money.
Well, lie number one, he needs money. No, he doesn't.
He's hosting a rally to try to con people.
He's hosting a rally to try and con people. Lie number two.
And try to fleece them out of every dollar that they have to fund.
Lie number three, he's trying to fleece them out of every dollar that they have. I guess she doesn't realize that Trump rallies are free.
His own legal fees. And by the way...
Oh, and he wants to use whatever money he can fleece from people to pay for his legal fees. Man, good luck, girl.
He's doing it in the South Bronx, not to make a point, but because he's got court. And the man practically has the legal version of an ankle bracelet around him, and he can't leave the 5 boroughs because he...
Okay, so she just spilled the beans right there. He's got the equivalent of an ankle bracelet on, and he can't leave the 5 boroughs. Oh, Ron, hate to let you know, but he held a rally in Wildwood. He held a rally out in, I think it was Michigan. He lives down here in Palm Beach in South Florida. No, he is not confined and he doesn't have to wear an ankle bracelet. So why are you lying, girl? Why are you lying?
He always has to be in court. And so it is truly an embarrassment to...
So you're telling me standing up in front of a crowd of 100,000 people in Wildwood is an embarrassment? Man, you should be that lucky to be that embarrassed.
Him, and I am looking forward to the response of everyday Bronxites talking about...
What's a Bronxite? Hey, what's a Bronxite? I don't know what a Bronxite is.
How they feel about him coming to their backyard.
How do you think he'll be received?
I mean, I'm not going to be surprised if he's going to bus in a lot of his pals from Long Island and Jersey and wherever.
Does that matter? First of all, that's a lie. Trump is not going to be bussing in anybody. She's talking about the way Democrats do things. Most people who would be going to the South Bronx for that rally are probably going to be local New York residents and people who choose to get themselves to the Bronx. There's no bus trips. There's nothing. It's not a field trip. Why do you gotta lie? Why? If it was no consequence to you, if you didn't think this was going to be a big deal whatsoever, why you gotta lie about it?
Hope they pay a nice, hefty congestion tax. I hope that they contribute to the revenues of New York City and fund our public schools through their tourism to the Bronx.
Isn't this the person that ran Amazon out of her district?
Right.
I was going to bring that up. She's happy about the Trump supporters coming in and spending some money, but she ran Amazon out of her specific district, a company that was going to come in and give, I think it was like $100,000 paying jobs. And she said, nah, we don't want that here. Okay. And they left.
Not only that, though, the irony is that she would not be in Congress if the third highest ranking Democrat wasn't so arrogant and that he didn't even go campaign. So she understands the importance of campaigning. You know what? Listen, I have a lot of relatives in the South Bronx. I was on the board of a charter school in the South Bronx, and I'm thrilled President Trump is going there. I wish he would go to Harlem. 2 Mondays ago, my niece was shot.
Wow. Two weeks ago, Charles Payne, his niece, was shot in New York.
On the street that I grew up on. My niece was shot on the street that I grew up on. She doesn't even hang out there. She doesn't even live on the block anymore. But a good friend of mine I've known for 45 years, her son passed away, and they were having a memorial for him. And so these guys, the gang violence is on the rise so much, it's so underreported. So they come around with the mask, they're shooting crazy. The third floor apartment was all busted up.
Were they looking for somebody in particular?
Yeah, another gang guy. But she had 4-hour surgery. She's okay now. She went home 2 days ago. And then Cookie, who was shot also, she's gone home.
Who's Cookie?
The other girl. The two of them were shot. And so Cookie's the one I've known for 45 years. I went to go.
So you have to wonder, AOC, this is happening in your city. Have you been talking about it? Have you been bringing it up? Hey, listen, this gang violence is out of control in New York City. Now you're more worried about what Trump's doing in the Bronx. You're more worried about Trump supporters coming in and supporting Donald Trump in the Bronx. Meanwhile, this guy's telling you, hey, listen, my niece got shot just coming into a memorial service. What's the irony of that? His niece gets shot going to basically somebody else's funeral. New York's a great place right now.
Visiting both in Harlem Hospital. But it's just, our country is really getting cracked apart where the haves are doing extraordinarily well. And again, they live in safety, and they live in, they eat their avocado toast, and the rest of us, whether it's in places where the opioid epidemic is out of control, or places like my neighborhood was being gentrified, but this gang thing has really been amazing. I had no idea it was this bad. It's really bad.
You know what's going to happen?
So you have to understand, this is a host on Fox Business. He probably makes $500,000, maybe more per year. He's not even immune to what's going on in New York. Meanwhile, AOC's out there talking like it's no big deal. That's why she's losing voters. That's why people in New York are turning their heads going, maybe we should take a look at this Trump guy.
These illegal immigrants are gangsters. They're going to start fighting American gangs.
They're intertwined. They're intertwined. A buddy of mine in the Bronx, he talked about a lot of illegal immigrants have joined up with certain other folks. They're all intertwined in these gangs. No one will report on it, but it's really bad.
No one will report on it, and AOC and her types won't even talk about it. In fact, they do just the opposite. They want to promote more newcomers. They think that's the solution instead of taking care of people who live in their neighborhoods.
Can you explain the black male support with Donald Trump? Because there seems to be a divide.
I'm not surprised. I saw this coming in so many ways, and I try to explain it to people all the time. There's two things. Older black people, right, like my mother's age, she passed away, but they grew up in a time of immense fear. I remember going to Alabama as a kid in the 60s. and walking down the road, you could feel it. Even though I was a kid, you could feel there was a palpable fear. There was a blind woman, a white woman who owned this store. It's a shack. She was blind. Coins everywhere. No one stole anything. And I said to myself, even as a kid, someone must have been lynched or something. But there was palpable fear. Right? So they grew up with that. My grandmother, she didn't sleep with a pillow. She slept with her arms crossed. She had to have both ears open. She was always afraid the night riders would come and she wanted to hear them.
Oh, my goodness.
Back in the day when there really was racism, when you had to sleep with one eye open because you didn't know what was coming down the street or the road or the driveway. This isn't the same. Now there's a different fear. These gangbangers, these newcomers, the kind of crime that has no racial boundary. It's not racism you need to fear anymore. It's definitely not racism. Well, again, maybe if you're white.
There's that group. Then you have young folks, right? My son, 27, so for the last few years I've been listening to music. When they hear Rick Ross and Drake and these guys talking about owning things, they're arguing over who works the hardest. And they don't want public housing, they don't want free housing, they don't want free food. They want the American dream, so particularly young black men.
And the Democrats don't want black men or black people to have the American dream. They want to be daddy government. They want to take care of you. They want to keep you on that plantation. He's absolutely right. The guys like Rick Ross down here is, besides his rap music and what he does, he's opening restaurants, he's got businesses, he's a capitalist. He's doing much more. In fact, I don't know how much music he does anymore because he's so damn busy with his businesses.
And listen, they're being shut out. They're being shut out by progressives. Progressives who own corporations, they're discriminating against black people, black men. Look at Hollywood. That will tell you everything you need to know. Black women are always now in these movies where, without a black father figure, without a black lover, right? The black male has been pushed out by progressives. And they are looking for someone they can look up to. And more they see Donald Trump as someone, hey, I want what he's got.
And AOC doesn't understand that. She thinks everybody is going to be okay in her Marxist communist ideology. Socialists will lump it all together at this point. Let the government take care of you. We're gonna make things better for you. No, I don't need you to make things better for me. I just need you to get the hell out of my way. Let me seize the opportunities that are in front of me.
I think that you look up Charles Payne.
Yeah. Well, listen, talking about the Bronx, you had a great interview with a fellow by the name of Lou Valentino on Monday. He had this observation about the former president heading up for that gathering in the Bronx tomorrow night. Listen.
I think the Democrats have been dropping the ball. I mean, you see crime, you see a woman being dragged with a belt, you see all type of stuff happening in the Bronx, and they're just gaslighting it, acting like it's not happening. So,
and that's specifically what AOC does. That's specifically what Chuck Schumer does. They ignore it. It's great. It's fine. Don't worry about it. When these people like this guy, who's also a YouTuber, are out there living in this community.
Oh, I just think it's the perfect opportunity for people to speak up. And a lot of bad things are happening. A lot of people can't afford groceries. And Trump is speaking to those people in those barbershops or people that just can't afford this lifestyle that they had probably 4 to 5 years ago. So
and so what's AOC's message? She can go out and spew lie after lie after lie about Donald Trump. Oh, he's a grifter. He can't go anywhere. He needs money. He's fleecing these people. What about you? Instead of talking about somebody else, what are you doing to improve the lives and improve the opportunities for people who live in your district? That's a very simple question. That's what you were elected to do, not go out there and push for money to be sent to, that country over there that now has basically a dictator in place. What are you doing to help New Yorkers in your district?
this is just I think once in a lifetime opportunity. The fact that Trump is going there to a spot that is deep blue, that should send a deep message to Republicans. Once again, step up your game.
It's a great message. However, we're all impacted by the same thing, and that's the economy. And that is ultimately, if Joe Biden loses, that's going to be on his watch. That's going to be it.
There's no doubt.
If the only way Trump loses, if they fudge the numbers. At this point, it's over. It's a landslide. You got guys like Lou Valentino who were just talking. I'm going to show you some other black people. Charles is here talking. I'm a black person. I can tell you with the pulse of talking to other black people, the tide has shifted, substantially shifted.
About it. Listen, they tried this scheme with ultimate big government, trillions of dollars that was unnecessary in this economy, and they thought they could buy votes, but all they did was create inflation. And unfortunately, all of the money trickles up. We live in a trickle-up economy, no matter what anyone says, because we get money that we're not used to. Economists call it MPC, a propensity to consume. If you've never had money and someone says, here's a $2,000 stimulus check,
you're going to spend it.
They know that not only you're going to spend it, but they know for a fact you're going to spend more. Mm-hmm. That's how people who get stimulus.
Which is basically the same ideology that drug dealers do. Here's some of this. I'll even give it to you for free, because I know you're going to come back.
Checks end up spending all the money and hire record high credit card debt. You say, how the hell does that happen? Right. It's psychology. They understand it. They use it, and they've abused people who've gotten this money. They used the people that they gave this money to. They played them for suckers, and now everyone's suffering. Right. Except for the very top.
What do you expect tomorrow when Donald Trump's in
I think it's going to be beautiful.
He went to Harlem for the bodega thing. Now he's going to South Bronx. It's going to be beautiful.
It's going to be beautiful. It really is. I mean, unless they try to, put a few sabotageurs in there, but
they're definitely going to do that. AOC almost even referenced it. She almost said it in advance. Oh, well, we'll see what happens.
Ultimately, I think it's going to be beautiful. I think the world is in for an awakening that, hey, there's a clamoring for someone that, outside of the political spectrum of, Democrat, Republican, that who may really have the solutions and may really care. Because these professional politicians talk the talk, but they don't walk the walk.
Right. Now, the president for 5 straight days talked about African Americans. I
was in Atlanta. I was there. I was in his hotel with Karine Jean-Pierre and some others, and I had a great candid conversation with one guy. I won't say his name. He used to be a regular on our network as a contributor, Democrat, big-time Democrat, but he's doing another network right now. And he said, listen, I agree with you on the economy. He said it is a bifurcated economy, and the poorest people are not being well served.
He's absolutely right. The poorest people in the economy who need it the most aren't being served. AOC, those people are in your district. You're not serving them whatsoever. And for some reason, Donald Trump's rally in the Bronx is being capped at 3,500 people. This park is kind of big, but they're only allowing Trump to bring in 3,500 people. And we're also likely to see some fireworks as AOC and her cronies are no doubt going to make a scene, a mess, some sort of protest because Donald Trump is there. And the reason the AOC types are feeling this way is that they could have never imagined that Donald Trump would create the type of groundswell that they're seeing in deep blue New York.
Yeah, we want jobs. Yeah. We want fair housing. Yeah. We want better schools. Yeah. So our children won't be accused of not being able to know what a computer is. Yeah.
Our children won't be accused of not knowing what a computer is. She's talking directly to Kathy Hochul, who basically insulted black people to no end. There's black people who don't even know what a computer is. How sad.
Build some brand new state-of-the-art computer labs in those schools. Make the investments into these communities. Trump will be here on the 23rd. And we hope to see a turnout. Oh, yes. There's a 3,500 person capacity, and we're expecting to see 3,500 people with an overflow.
3,500 people with an overflow. This was from last weekend, so they're already pumping it up. And notice, most of these people are black. So this lady with the microphone here, she is the candidate running as a Republican against AOC.
And we need to come out and vote for Donald Trump, and don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Stand with me. Fight with me. Because I am here for the people. We the people.
That woman is jacked.
It is we the people. I am here for the children, the future of our country, for our children. I have grandchildren. I want a better America for our children.
Así que no importa lo que digan. Who cares what people say? Who cares what people do? You know what's important? What we are doing today. We are not allowing anybody to divide us. We will not allow anyone to divide us. We are joining together here. We will be together, and next Thursday, we will be together too. Ladies and gentlemen, damas y caballeros.
We are here today to send New York City a message. We stand with Donald Trump. We love Donald Trump. And we're waiting for Donald Donald Trump to make New York red again.
Funny. I don't see any buses in the background, AOC. I don't see these people having their way paid to come support Trump. Looks like it's pretty much grassroots.
And the South Bronx is now my district, and that's why I am here to tell you I will fight for you and with you, because we are united in this. We are united. And AOC needs to go. It's fire, AOC.
AOC needs to go. That's why she's afraid. As the more this swells, the more people who begin listening to people at this rally, which they could have never imagined happening, the more the fear will grow.
Fire Joe Biden! They are destroying us from within.
District Leader Dion Powell of the 78th District with the Bronx County.
That's her name, Tina Forte. I couldn't remember what her name was. That's her, Tina Forte for Congress.
Conservative Party, here to support Donald Trump. We'll see you at Crotona Park next week, Thursday. Thank you.
From within, they are destroying this country. We need to get rid of them all. Fire them all and finish the wall. God bless you. And God bless America.
So get rallying. We are going to register you to vote. We are going to offer you, if you have a criminal record, we will clean and seal your criminal record. This is all I'm going to say at the moment. We're going to move forward with the program. Thank you.
And he took to the streets. Now, so I saw some people mocking them, saying it's just a small crowd. That's how it starts. You don't understand. The people who were mocking them and saying, hey, there's only like 100 people there. Well, I don't know, but if you saw Joe Biden's rally yesterday, there were probably 65 people at his rally. He's the president of the United States. These people here, it's starting. That's the whole thing. There's a groundswell. It's beginning. It's bubbling up because each one of these people know 10 or 15 or other people, and so on and so on and so on. This is how it begins. It's only May right now. This is going to swell, and this is terrifying the Democrat Party.
To support Trump. Thank you.
So what's funny is, okay, so there's a couple hundred or 100 people or so at this little rally they put together. And Lou Valentino, they brought him on Fox because he lives in the Bronx. That is going to get the word out. So let's imagine, come tomorrow evening, there are 3,500 people that show up. Those 3,500 people are going to disseminate into the community. Those 3,500 people will turn into 7,000 quickly. That 7,000 will turn into 21,000 very quickly. That's how it begins. That's why they're afraid. Nobody was doing this for Trump. It was unheard of. This is blue New York. New York City, it's Democrat, Democrat, Democrat. It's always going to be Democrat. They never thought that this would even possibly happen.
Pet projects that they're just wasting our money on stuff that does not benefit our community. All we're asking for is to let us see some of that money be invested into our community.
Invested, not given away, invest in the community. This lady is talking about building opportunity.
Trump has a plan. Trump has a plan. If he didn't have a plan, he wouldn't be taking the chance to come here.
We don't want them to know what this is. Am I right? All right.
Now, I can't really say it, but you know what that book was. And I can tell you this. Let me get black on you for a second. Black people ain't down with that. Not at all. Black people do not support that stuff in any way, shape, or form.
That's the first thing. Hey, all right. You translate this minute.
I spent over 4 years traveling 137,000 miles. You don't represent the Bronx. And I believe Donald Trump is the best example of how to save America.
Did a little investigating. Took the man's
I love it that it's starting to gin up like this as well.
address. He wrote a card.
It means passion.
For 15 years, right in the projects. This is the poorest, most depressing, most unemployment, most high crime York City. How dare anyone think that they have the luxury of not being able to support someone who is offering them a hand up? Joe and the hoe must go. Joe and the hoe must go.
Okay, so what they're saying, in case you didn't hear it, is Joe and the hoe must go. Joe and the hoe must go. They're talking about Kamala Harris.
Joe and the hoe must go. Okay,
No, I didn't want to interrupt while they were singing. That warms my heart. A group of black people standing on the corner, talking to other people, and singing the national anthem. Not the black national anthem, the national anthem. The Star-Spangled Banner. And of course, you got some people in the hood who ain't happy about it. That's Lou Valentino with the red hat on backwards. Telling the guy step off.
Those are racist. Those are racist. Tina, come talk to me. I'm in the district. Jesus Christ. No, come down. I'm in the district. Get to this garbage. He is garbage.
As you saw, there was one guy there who was antagonizing people, saying Trump is garbage. Good. I want that kind of passion out there, because those are the kind of people that other people can see and see these guys are ignorant. This guy is just being a complete tool. He doesn't even want to have a discussion. The more of those people that basically reveal themselves as complete idiots, the better it is to make inroads with the people who want more information about Trump. Perhaps instead of spewing lie after lie about Trump, AOC needs to watch her own political back. While she's out there trying to bash Trump and to tell everybody else that he should be embarrassed, that's pretty much the pot calling the kettle black. She's being protested in her own district.
With that?
Yes, and ultimately I think that there are 3 points of consensus here that are very important in getting a solution to this issue. The first...
So she's out in front of one of the newcomer hotels, and she's saying how important it is to bring these newcomers in, while New Yorkers are surrounding the hotel screaming her down.
Is that there is consensus here across geography and states.
There's consensus here across the geography. No, your own people, the people of New York, are screaming at you going, what the hell are you doing?
Increase federal resources to cities and municipalities dealing with this issue. The second is to allow for work authorizations so that the folks in here can get to work and start supporting themselves as soon as possible.
But why aren't you doing that for the Americans in your district? Why did you just basically rebuff Amazon? Why are you so concerned about these newcomers getting jobs and being able to support themselves? Why aren't you promoting that for the people in your own district?
They are prevented from getting jobs, they are prevented from employment, and that is part of the strain on our public systems. The faster that folks...
She can't even talk. These people in her own district in New York are screaming at her going, you're a fraud, you're a liar.
...can access the work that they're asking for legally, the better we can solve this problem. And the third is extension of temporary protected status for Venezuelans who are the largest...
And she's sitting here trying to promote getting whatever kind of status for Venezuelans, but she's not taking that same energy to the people in her own district.
...population are arriving here. So with that, we thank you all, and ready to wrap up?
The American dream will not be bullied into submission.
American dream. This guy had the nerve with AOC to say that the American dream won't be bullied. Well, it's also not going to be basically hidden away from Americans. Americans are tired of you talking about the American dream for other people. They want it for them, their families. Why are you all dressed up, so happy about spending money on newcomers, just gleefully looking at it, while your own constituents are standing in front of you going, no.
Today, we will continue to fight for the American dream. We will not be bullied. We will not be pushed into a corner. We will fight for these common sense solutions. TPS for the Venezuelans. An extension. They already have TPS. Work permit.
This is just conference I've ever seen.
It's for people that just want to work for their families. Additional funding, yes, for New York City needs more funding so we can get this done. God bless you, America. We love you.
No, you don't. No, you don't. Don't even say that. That's blasphemy.
Thank you. We're going to fight for a supplemental that will include...
All right, so this is a little nice clip for you to watch. You know how she said Donald Trump should be embarrassed and people don't want Donald Trump around? This is what happens when AOC goes to her home district. She can't even go to the movies with her boyfriend without being chased out of a movie theater.
You used to call it a genocide.
I need you to understand that it's not.
Don't get in my face. Watch her get in somebody's face tomorrow. She doesn't want people in her face, but she'll have no problem tomorrow getting in front of Trump supporter faces.
It's okay that there's a genocide happening. You're not actively against it.
You're lying.
You're lying. Meet Kettle. You're lying. Okay, we just showed you when you did 10 lies in 30 seconds, but now somebody else is lying and you got to run away.
You went on TV and avoided talking about it.
She can't get out of there fast enough.
We're not lying.
We're not lying.
You listen to the interviews. It's insane.
Funny, she always has so much to say when there's a gaggle of soft reporters around her, right?
You haven't been calling it a genocide. Don't tell me I'm lying. Then just say it's a genocide. Just say it. Over 30,000 people are dead, AOC. You can't just say.
Now, these are these nut job Hamas protesters, but it's still the fact that she's being chased out.
Say it for once. Just say the word. That's it. That's all we want you to say. Or you're not angry about people confronting the public with the camera.
You don't want to talk to nobody.
Stop. Okay?
Stop. Don't bother my girlfriend, please. I'm a cuck, and I don't know what to do. She's upset, and then I got to go deal with her when I get home.
We're not doing anything. We're just talking to an elected public.
They shouldn't be able to walk down the streets where they live.
That's all we're doing. That's it.
Don't let them off the hook.
And you're going to cut this and you're going to clip this so that it's completely out of context. I already said that it was, and y'all are just going to pretend that it wasn't over and over again. It's fucked up, man. If you're not helping...
Oh, what happened to her demeanor? Oh, it's effed up. Oh, you're losing your composure. You lost your shit and somebody filmed it. We can see what you're all about right now, AOC.
Live
people,
TV.
and you're not helping them.
You refuse to.
You're not helping them.
She threw a tantrum. It wasn't a safe gaggle of reporters that she could walk up to and spew a bunch of lies. And when you see these people on the street, when you see them in the grounds of the Capitol, and people are trying to get them to say something, they run. They don't want to talk to people when it's unrehearsed, when it's not in the safe confines of the liberal media. So wait till you see what happens tomorrow. Undoubtedly, she's going to be leading some sort of protest as Trump is doing his rally, and it's going to be the safety of the liberal media that's going to stick the microphones in front of her. What she has done to the people, or rather what she hasn't done for the people in her own district, is going to come back to bite her, hopefully. I'm not crazy. I'm not nuts. I understand. I'm not overconfident. I know that Trump winning New York would be a long shot at best. Even if he loses, he can push AOC's challenger. It would be awesome if he could drive enough support, just enough support, to put AOC's challenger over the top. And maybe that's why AOC is in such a panic because there's no way that she's worried about her constituents. Most of them say she's never there. It would be awesomely epic if AOC gets bounced out of Congress by a Trump-supported candidate. That would be delicious. And don't forget, while they're only allowing 3,500 people into the Trump rally, you can watch it live along with me. I'll be broadcasting the entire event live. We'll have giveaways. We got t-shirts. We've got cash prizes. We've got gift certificates to restaurants. Just go ahead and click right here to be notified when I go live tomorrow night for the Trump rally. Talk to you soon.